All right, so getting ready to go into day 14. So I had a rough day. Day 13 was a nice red day, but it was a red day that was a good red day, I would say, because it was a red day. You know, it wasn't me per se. It was just gonna have red days in every strategy. Every trade plan's gonna have red days, and that was my red day. And it was small enough red day to where I can recover it in a day or two pretty easily. So all good. And then the benefit to it, remember I said average losing day was $2,000 or something like that because my first 2 days out of the gate were red days. Well, now it's down to 1,500. So by having a small red day today, it actually is improving my statistics. Average winning trade up to 64%. Only thing that went down was my winning days is now down to 77% instead of 80% or 81%. But all good. That'll get right back up. So anyway, there's the current stats. Counts going so far so good. Not too worried about it. Right now I have $5,840 in there, down from $6,441 because of my red day. And yeah, hopefully tonight I can get into one or two trades, easy trades, make some money. And then on Friday, same thing, take 3 or 4 trades and maybe make $1,000. We'll see how it goes. All right, buddy, bring the next trade to you. Okay, so here we are in the evening session on May 2nd, right? Yeah, May 2nd. Getting ready to jump into gold here to the long side.
Order submitted.
There we go. Order's in. Put my limit order in and it triggered it. So I'm going to mark it up. See how this trade goes. Hopefully I have a better night than I had during the day session. Okay, trades in. Looking for gold to make a run back up to this, at least this green line right here. Right in this zone right there. Not sure that it'll get all the way up here. That would be nice. But, you know, I'll take what the market gives me. Gold's been a bit of consolidation. Had this big sell-off, came down, ripped back up, and it's kind of just been sideways for a while. Moving back up from the bottom of this channel, looking for a move towards the top of the channel, and taking a piece of that move right now. We'll see how gold plays out.
Order submitted.
Okay, short gold now. 2 contracts, right? Yep. You can see that kind of a messy M pattern right there. This M pattern broke. Nice, right? Came down there just exactly as expected. Now I'd just like to see it break a little more. Be in great shape. Okay, lock in that 1 contract.
Order canceled.
All right, so I got 1 out. Looking to get the next one out, but I'd like to give this thing a chance to run. But I might have to just pop out with this other one. So if it pushes through there again and gets rejected, then I'll just have to
Order submitted.
I'm out. Okay.
Order canceled.
Out of that trade, so up $40 in gold now, so pretty sweet. So I'll take my 40, which really translates to 25 bucks after commissions. But at least it's green. I'm green. That's a good way to start the night. Well, I started the night red, but a good way to finish the night because I think that's going to be my only trade. So next trades will be in the morning session. All right, see you when the sun comes up. Okay, here in the morning session, getting ready to jump into YM short. Looking like a nice short play here in YM. Getting ready to pop in here. Especially if this wants to break below here before it's time to get in. Got 1 contract. Put my ATM. Alright. 10 seconds. It's kind of a big candle that may retrace.
Order submitted.
Alright. Stop's going to go in at 905. It's a little bit above there. 906. Trades in. So we'll see what's going to happen here. This could be a big retrace and boost higher. Or we could just be seeing the beginning of a really long, choppy day. Yeah, it would have been awesome to get in on that retrace. That's too bad. Halfway retrace. A lot of times these big candles retrace half to all. Somewhere in that zone. But I would expect at least a half, which we got right now. So now let's see if it wants to come down and go lower. If my account was larger, I would have added to my position right there. But I only have 1 contract as it is. That's almost too much already. Okay, coming down. I'll put this here, give it some room to go. And then I could trail my stop in as it crosses my first green line. It's got to break below this right here. And we got like an M pattern form there. A nice break of that. Should get a nice slide. Okay, breaking the M pattern. This candle closes in about 50 seconds. So a close below here would be confirmation of that break, and it should be moving down. If I was a trader that added to my positions as I was going to profit, I'd be looking to add on a close below here. But yeah, and the 50% retracement here, if I could add it to my position, like if I could add that additional risk to my account, which I can't right now, then on the way back down here, once it crossed my entry, I could have got out with that one contract, and now it's basically a green trade. Because even if the remaining one becomes a loser, it's going to be a really small loser compared to what I would have gotten. So a lot less stress on the trade when I can do that. It's pretty nice. Okay, looking at this, the other thing that's making me a little bit concerned is we have this giant candle here that's now retraced half. And is that all it's going to retrace? A lot of times, like I said, though, they like to retrace half to all. So going, 75% to all puts me in my targets. But is half where it's going to give up and now start to move higher. I still think it's coming all the way back down because we got a lot of levels down here. Support, resistance. We had the high, that big breakout of the other candle right here. You can see the tip of it. Shrink it down a little bit. We got this big move up. Then this huge consolidation, breakout of that consolidation, M pattern right there. And then selling off down. So I would think that we'd come back down and test somewhere in this zone, even possibly down as low as here before moving higher. But I doubt it because it's probably going to want to put in some higher highs, higher lows kind of thing. So I would be looking for that move to be in this zone right here. Potentially back to touch this or this here. A lot of red candles developing here. 1, 2, got a little green in there, so it's good. Broke it up. So it might be good to go. So you might have room to have a bunch more red candles in a row. There's always going to be green candles on the way down and red candles on the way up. Just remember that. New 5-minute candle just opened. I would like this trade to be finished before the new 30-minute candle opens because it could see a big retracement and I don't want to be a part of it. Okay, I'm going to take away my speed bump now.
Canceled.
Actually, I'm going to cancel all of this.
Order canceled.
Buy stop market. 1.
Order submitted.
Move it to break even plus a couple dollars because that's the rules of my strategy because I've made it more than 75% of the way to the target. And once I get to about 90% of the way to the target, I could just take the trade off, which is pretty much right here. So if it starts to really struggle when it's almost to my target, I'm going to take the trade off because it's, I hate when it gets so close to the target and then just never gets there. It turns around on you, which could be happening right now. I consider it a struggle when it hits it and it tries to hit it again and it's got to hit it again. The more times it hits it, the more likely it's to break. But at the same time, the more support's developing and it could be going higher. So I could just get out and then I could always get back in when it does break that. But so close to the target, I'm not really asking for much more than that. So there's not really a whole lot of point in getting back in at that point. All right, coming down. I'm going to start trailing my stop. Again, 75% marker here. All right, I think I'm just going to take it.
Order submitted.
Close.
Order canceled.
I've been forgetting to not put the ATM strategy, and when I cancel my order and I put my stop in. All right, so I jumped out of that trade with $395. How much did I make on that? $355 on that. So far P&L in a day, $395, pretty good. Like I said, 30-minute candle is going to be opening in 5 minutes here. Let's go back and look at that real quick. 30-minute candle. These matter. I don't know if you all look at different time frames when you're trading, but I like to. So right now, especially if we're coming into the 1 hour close, then that also can be factored in. So right now, a lot of candles have tails and wicks. Tails and wicks. This green one doesn't have a tail on it, but a lot of them do have little tails and wicks. Right? Even this green one here. So, but on the red candles, you can see the tails and wicks. So basically, it came down, it hit that bottom, that low, and then it retraced before it closed. It retraced before it closed. So this one's doing the same. It's retracing before it closes in 5 minutes. Now it could push lower and then retrace back up and leave a tail down here. That could happen. But they do like to retrace before they close. So if that's going to happen the next 5 minutes and then the candles themselves like to retrace, just go back in the chart and look. You can see. Do I want to be a part of that retracement ride? And the answer is no, I don't. Especially when I'm 90% of the way to my target. Like I'm right so close to that target. Look, it's going to hit it right now. So if I would have waited another 3 minutes, if I was more patient, could have got a little more money. But the flip side of that is I could have given it all back at the same time. Trading's 2020. When you see stuff like this happen, it's like, man, next time I need to be more patient. Look, it's going to hit the target. Really? That was another $200 right there. $100, $100 and something dollars. So I could have made like four and change, maybe 450 if I would have waited one more minute. Really? So you can see it coming into the zone now, and then I anticipate a nice retrace. Put that tail in, and now then this candle boost higher. But you just never know, traders. Traders 2020 trading is 2020, and it's so easy to look at charts after the fact. But I am bummed out right now that again, the story of my trading career has been, if you just would have waited 30 seconds longer or a minute longer, you could have been a part of a big move. But that's all good. That's for somebody else to make. All right, let's look at the next trade setting up, and then I'll bring it to you. Only thing with the MNQ right now, or the NQ NASDAQ, we had this nice move down. Right, retested that support area. That's the short that basically took over the Dow Jones, was doing the same thing. So I had that nice move down, retested that area. Now it's on its way back up. So it looks pretty solid for potential run back to the high. The only thing is we do have a little bit of a wedge showing up here that could break to the downside and retest the bottom of this again before going up. So there is a channel forming here, and I just would hate to get into it at this level for it to retrace, stop me out at the bottom of the channel, and then rip higher. Like, that's a possibility. So I'm going to take it easy on this trade. I'll take the trade, but I'm just going to go easy on it. One contract. We got a few seconds, and it's confirmed.
Order submitted.
Okay, so in the trade, right at the bottom of that, I don't want to have my stop there. So I'm going to go a little lower, make new lows. Like I said, this thing can retrace back to the bottom of this channel. It's kind of in this range from here. You can see with that black line up there right there, between the black and red line, you can kind of see that range. It did pop out of it, but then got right back in, and it's been staying in there. So we'll see what happens. I got one contract in. Then I can go heavy on the speed bump if it wants to break out to the downside, or if it retraces most of this, then I can get back. I can add contracts to my trade and then be at lower risk and then take advantage of what happens next. But for the initial setup, this is where it needs to be. But I don't add to my position when it's going up. I only add on the retrace, so that because my stop is my stop. So if I add all the way up here, this is my stop. That's a huge amount of risk for a little bit of reward. So that doesn't work for me. So I need to add when it's retracing towards my stop, and then my risk is reduced on those positions that I add, and my profit is increased. So that's the only way I add to my trade. But I will move this up here and then trail a stop as this gets closer. Could add to my position if I wanted to down here for a much lower risk, but I'm gonna not quite yet. All right, so if it can't get above this, the next spot that I'm seeing it come down to is down here. So, and then we'll see where it goes from there. It may break, but I can get in at a very, very low risk way down here. Here I still have a decent amount of risk if I put a position on, because my risk goes two ways. My risk goes on the initial loss, but then I also have to take that into account on the speed bump. So my speed bump ends up having increased risk as well. So I have to look at that too when I'm trading. I don't just look at my risk in one direction. So if I were to add right here, it'd probably be a good add, considering we're at the bottom of this support area here, and then we're starting to develop support here. And if it wants to continue that, then maybe I would add, but I need to see a bigger support area develop on this side before I add to my long position. I do feel like it has a higher potential based on how much resistance is here compared to support to come down to this area down here. Once my account is big enough, I would have added right here, and I would add it again down here. But my account's not there yet.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay, so I had to take a call, but I was able to get that one contract that I added out. And again, the story of my life, I waited like 10 more seconds. I could have got it out way up here, which would have been even better. Pretty sweet to be able to reduce some of that risk. Looking at this move, though, this is giant consolidation. Do I want to stay monkeying around in this consolidation? And I think the answer is no right now, especially going into lunchtime. So what I'm going to do is, which one of these can I move? That one. All right. So I think I'm going to move this up, lock in some profit on this trade right here. If it wants to, all right, there we go. So I'm out of that trade. Close that.
Order canceled.
All right, so I'm out. I'll take a $40 loss on NQ. So locking in my day, basically, I end up with a $355 day going into the weekend. Look at that thing. Like 2 seconds later, it's ripping higher, right? But it could come all the way back down. I mean, you can clearly see the consolidation I don't really want to mess with it. If I want to get back in this trade, I'll get back in at the bottom of this consolidation channel for the long side, and then I can reverse my trade if it breaks out. So if that's what happens, then I may jump in. If it wants to break back above the top of this consolidation channel, I'm not really that interested in it because it still has all this additional resistance up here. So I would have to get in right at the break and look for a small little quick scalp on it. But then where's my stop, right? When you're scalping, you're looking for that little move, but then where's your stop? Now, are you risking, $100 to make $10? Sooner or later, you're gonna take a loss, and then what happens? So it's not really worth it for me to jump in right here. But down here, if I were to jump in long, close to risk, I have this nice big move up that I can take advantage of, as well as a speed bump and have a nice big move down. So my risk reward becomes worth it at the bottom of the channel, where it's not really worth it to me at the top of the channel at the moment. Okay, it looks like I got one more trade setting up here in the NASDAQ. I'm going to jump into right now to the long side.
Order submitted.
Buy. My stop is at 965. Oh, I'm in the sim, not even the right account. Okay, so let me move over to my... Can I still get in? Yeah. NQ.
Order submitted.
All right, now I'm in the right account. I'm like, man, I was in my sim. All right, I'll leave that sim trade open too. All right, let's see. So we broke this in this trade. Basically, it broke down below all this support area, resistance area, I should say, or support area. Broke down below all this support area. Just shy of that, and rallying back up into what is a support resistance channel, I'll say. And it's at the bottom of that channel right now. Plenty of room to get back through the middle to the top of that channel. Maybe even test the very tops or highs of the day. So right now, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this to get deeper into this support resistance channel. Start trailing a stop. See how far it wants to go. And if it wants to come all the way back down here, I'm actually going to move my speed bump below there. If it wants to come all the way back down here, then I will get out and speed bump it and take that ride to the bottom. Because it could have a nice ride all the way back down to here. So win-win on this trade, just so no. We'll see. Am I going to make the money to the long side or am I going to make it to the short side? I think I'm going to make it to the long side, but it's possible that I take it to the short side. All right, because I don't want to go into the weekend red. I may take this trade off here if it doesn't want to keep going. All right, put that stop right there at the bottom of this green candle if it wants to turn red. You can see right here, definitely a resistance area. It needs to get through that. And if it wants to go back down, then I'll just take the trade off, make a little extra money on the day, and go into the weekend green, which is more important to me than anything else right now.
Order canceled.
Okay, out of that trade. All right, cool.
Order canceled.
So on the NQ, picking up $105 in that trade, so pretty nice. So now we'll finish the day up $458 on the P&L, which is $433 on the day total profits. So bringing my account to $6,273. It was at $6,441, I believe. So really close to that. Only $168 away from getting back to that. So that's an easy trade. Sunday night, I'll probably have the count back up and, recovered from that Thursday losing day. It's nice to get it all back in one trade. It's definitely nice to get it all back in one day. But if it takes 2 days, then it takes 2 days. I don't like my winning days to be smaller than my losing days. Today will be a little bit smaller than that losing day yesterday. But I got to take what the market gives me. I can't force it. Yes, I would love to be able to get back into NQ or something else, gold or whatever it might be, to make another $168. But I can't force it. I got to take what the market gives me. If this wasn't Friday, if this was Wednesday, I'd probably be more patient in this trade. But patience is definitely something I don't have right now. Going into the weekend, I want to have that psychological victory. So I want to take it, and I'll see you on Sunday night.